You're listening to the Law of Attraction Radio Network.
The secret to well-being is discovering the power that is your birthright, the power to create a happier, healthier life, drawn from our own vast internal resources. Join Jules and her guests as they gently guide you to shift your perspective from the familiar negative to the divinely connected, a place that will not only positively impact your world, but possibly shift the planet. It's all right here on Law of Attraction Talk Radio.
Well, welcome to Law of Attraction Talk Radio. I'm Jules from beautiful Southern California, and I'm so glad you could be with me. We have got a very, very special show tonight. Kind of magical, kind of free-flowing. It's just going to be a fun show, and I just know you're going to love it. We have with us Monica Carducci, and she is just a tremendous delight. She was born in Italy, and she's always been attracted to the invisible side of life and to the invisible worlds that she was able to perceive and sometimes even see around her. At the age of 17, she discovered herself to be an extraordinary channel in which to receive valuable information not only from the afterlife, but also from the subtle, ethereal dimension described as fairy. As an adult, by following the call of the mountain, she moved to the slopes of the magnificent Mont Blanc, fulfilling a kind of mission related to the spirits of nature and their connection with humans who are living there. Then in 2012, by responding to another call involving all the family, she moved to powerful Quebec with her husband, son, and her 3 cats. Monica is also very scientific. She is a certified Rolfer, known as the Rolf movement practitioner, and the creator of Move in Mind, which is a method about the power of mental imagery in rewiring the neuron pathways. I love this. So she is such a delight. She didn't mention in her bio, but she is also a performing artist. She loves to dance. She goes out in nature and literally feels and talks to the fairies. This is so neat. I also want to show you that she wrote the book, The Faerie Code, and she's also an accomplished author and artist as well, because this is her, and I know she's going to be talking about it, but it's called the Archana Threshold, and they're beautiful, beautiful cards that you can bring out, and it will tell you a story about what's going to happen. What's so really unique about these cards is that she painted them and then produced them. So you're going to love this. She's got a great story along with that, but also her book, The Faerie Code. Oh, just delightful. Absolutely delightful. And it just makes you feel so light, so airy. I just love this. So anyway, I am so delighted to have Monica with us. So let's listen to this fast commercial break, and we'll be right back with Monica Carducci.
It's here, it's hot, and it's a must read. It's the science behind the Law of Attraction magazine. Every issue brings you great articles and in-depth how-tos from all your favorite Law of Attraction experts, authors, scientists, and medical professionals. Go to lawofattractionmagazine.net. That's lawofattractionmagazine.net.
Well, welcome, Monica, to Law of Attraction Talk Radio. I'm so glad you could be with me.
I'm really, really happy for this opportunity. And so thank you so much.
My pleasure. You know, I was telling everyone in the intro that I just find you so delightful. It's like you've got this personality that's so airy and free, and it's like when I talk to you, I feel like I become this child again, and it's just like, wow, it's just so freeing. So this is what your writing and everything that you're about is really about: the freedom to be a child again, to be airy, to just go out there and dance, right?
I think so, because I think this is one of my secrets, and probably the other one is to be curious as a child, because this part of me is always alive. And it's so funny because when I was a child, I was so serious. I used never playing. I
Wow.
was just studying all the time. And so I don't know. And something changed. So yeah, this is a part of me, and I feel like called to make people feel light,
Ah, you do
lighter.
that.
Yeah.
You do that. You do that. Exactly. So let's start from the beginning and give a little bit of history, because at the age of 17, how did you all of a sudden become this channel? What happened?
Well, I was attracted. I was always looking at the stars and at nature, thinking and feeling something missing, a kind of connection with the something much bigger than me. And so in some way I was attracted to afterlife, everything like very weird for a child and also for a teenager. And so one day I was just playing piano. I closed the door of my room, and the piano, I heard clearly the piano was playing by itself. And I thought, okay, I closed the cat. It's the cat.
A
I opened
talented cat.
yeah, sure. I opened the door. The cat was not there. Okay, I closed the door and the piano started playing again. I opened the door and there was a very strong smell of incense. I closed the door. It was noon. I closed the door. I went to my parents and I asked them, maybe you come with me and tell me what you feel in this room. And then they opened the door. What did you burn here? I didn't burn anything. We opened the window. Our neighbor were doing a barbecue,
Uh-huh.
and it doesn't matter, even if the barbecue was just right there in the room, there was such a strong incense smell. And so I started wondering, okay, maybe this is a kind of call. And a friend of mine, she used to read books. I was reading these books also, but it was a little bit like I don't want to try strange things. I know the unconscious can play tricks. So I thought, okay, I know I'm attracted to afterlife, so for sure my unconscious will play something. At the end, the evidences were really strong, because I start writing,
Uh-huh.
and I had immediately kind of confirmed that it was not my unconscious, because I received such clear messages referring to other people, and these people were calling me. Oh, so well, I was pretty shocked. And immediately I ran. I found a journalist, and she was a writer, very famous. She was so kind with me, and I told her, look, what's happening to me. And she put me literally into the hands of a group of psychologists and graphologists
Oh.
studying this kind of phenomenon. So in 1 year, my life changed totally, because I started receiving these messages on one side from people living. Oh, I apologize, I'm painting, so my hands are not. I tried everything, but they still, it's oil painter, so okay, sorry.
It's colorful.
Showing
It's
everything.
colorful. It's fun.
So on one hand, I was receiving messages from people giving me name and family name, asking me to find their parents or children, and it was, I can't do this, please don't ask me this. But it was so funny, incredible, because in 4 or 5 cases I received a call from the family. In some way they found me asking, we would like to contact our mom, and probably your mom, your daughter, already contacted me. And in this case, in those cases, my group, the group who was studying me, they could really witness that there was identity between the writing that I was producing and the writings of the person during his or her life. So it was amazing. And on the other hand, I was receiving messages from spiritual guides. So in a few years, the other hand, the hand, the side of the spiritual guides become a stronger channel. So I left writing and I start channeling, and so I never received any more messages from people. In some rare cases, it still happens to me to receive strong inputs, but it's never on it's not because someone asked me, it's something happening spontaneously.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately I can't say, oh yeah, I can contact people. Sometime it happened to me, they contact me and they give me a precise task. That is always difficult, but so now yeah, I had at least I had 3 very, very special situation that I'm mentioning in one of the book I wrote. But then usually I'm a channel for spiritual guidance for people in search.
I see. I see. So people approach you, right, like today and say, I need advice on this. What do my spirits say? Is that correct?
Something like this. And usually, well, it takes a little, because it's never just a message, do this, is not this, is kind of a proposal or of work, personal work for spiritual, for personal development. So it's really
More of a coaching?
it's a kind of halfway between coaching and mentoring, because it can be kind of coaching, because my guides or the guides of the person, they ask a lot of questions for in order to help the person to focus, to understand, because sometimes we have issues, but it's not the issues itself, it's something behind, there is something.
Right.
And then they are very good in this, and this is the reason why I think sometimes when I was a child I thought, okay, maybe I would like to investigate. It's a little bit like investigating, because sometimes I have this flash, like, oh, I see this, I feel this, does it make sense for you? And the person said, oh yes, because now it's like connecting dots. And it's funny, because a part of my work is about connective tissue, because I'm also a rolfer and I work also on the body. And so it's like, it's always about connections. It's about connection with our thoughts, emotions, the body itself. So really it's like discovering a new dimension of being all the time. Every time I channel for someone, I discover something new.
Wow. So these spirit guides, do they have like names? Do they want to be known to the person? Is that why?
No, they usually prefer not to, and maybe this is the reason why very often they say they speak about them, not about me. It seems that they are a group, and usually they say, we don't want you identify us with someone. They prefer, sometimes they are very provocative. They say, imagine, maybe who is speaking is you, a future version of you.
Oh.
Maybe is someone else, but maybe is not from Earth. Maybe. So they usually ask people to be open-minded, and not to focus too much on identifying with something too much defined, because they say it's our ego.
Yes.
Our ego always needs a name, needs something very specific. And if we want really to develop ourself, our consciousness toward spirit, the spiritual world, we have to let go a little bit of attachment to this.
Oh, yes. Yes, I see. So they are there to help them through everything, or does it change? I mean, are they there for a lifetime? Like, I've met my spirit guides, and when I was younger, back when I was a early teen, and it was children, but it was always a very strong Native American, and they were always saying, all you have to do is call on me, and then you can just relax. Is that true?
Oh yeah, this can be definitely true. There are many layers according to my experience, because every experience can be different, because everybody, we are one, but with so many shades, so many different colors. And so it's true, I experienced many times in my life during a big change. It was like, wow, where are they? Like they were changing with me, like if
they were expanding to a different level so that you can evolve.
Yeah, it's like resonance. Wow. So at a certain point, maybe someone of them at a very high level, they can stay for a lifetime. But what I felt many times is that according what you need, they come and they can also go. And in my experience, some of them are from Earth, they were someone. So in some way, they were used to a human identity. But in my case, and in other people's case, I found also other kind of beings. And now I'm connecting with the other book that is the Faerie Code, because I found a lot of fairy beings around people. Yeah.
Really?
Fairy genies, like another vibration. They are not, someone of them, consciously or not, because when we come here with this body, this human body, we can lose every memory from the past. Sometimes I meet people and I'm sure they are not just human. There is something else, like a genie connection, a fairy connection. It's really interesting to see how this universe is populated
with different beings.
Yes,
different dimensions.
Yes.
So okay, well, let's talk about the fairies and the genies. So we experience them when we go out to nature, or when do we experience them?
Most of them are connected with nature, because there is, well, all the spirits of nature, there is a particular category of them. They are in the nature, but also, well, they work also in our houses. If we have plants, if we have pets, if you bring home some flowers, so they keep working. Also, if you have a small garden, of course, if you can go into the woods, if you can go visiting a lake, waterfalls, natural places, the more you are away from the cities, and the more you find them, and it's so beautiful. I would dance in the woods all the time to to participate in this kind of fairy parties.
Yeah. So they're a light energy. They're joyful. So they're not so much trying to help you, but just have you realize how great everything is.
Yes, they are. Oh, they sometimes they are in trouble also, because in this period, with all this pollution, and not just the physical pollution, but also emotional pollution, they are so sensitive. They don't like this. So I remember when I moved from the seaside where I was born to the mountains, to the Alps in Italy, it was because I felt called. I felt this call to go, and I had dreams, such vivid dreams. They were not dreams. I saw this being calling me to help them restore a kind of balance. But it was because there were people trying to manipulating them, people doing some kind of magic that was not correct, trying to use their energy for their purpose. It was incredible to discover that it was true. It was true, and wow, I was shocked, because sometimes it happens. The people, it depends on the intention of people. So these spirits, they are joyful. They want to bring lightness, but sometimes they are brought to vibrate on another frequency. And this is incredible, because working with some healer and shaman, I understood, I learned that there are streams in shamanism or in kind of strange other things where people, they want to exert their power on these spirits.
Oh, interesting.
And it's not good. Of course, it's not good for anybody. And so when I met a spiritual master, he explained to me, he told me, don't worry, you will be never hurt by these spirits, but not just the spirit of nature, fairies, genies, no problem with you, because your nature is this kind of nature. So they know you have good intentions, because they resonate, they vibrate with people. So if someone has no good intentions, they start to vibrate, and they are like children. They can be brought to work for this power, but they are not happy at the end. These are the elemental spirits, very simple. Then when we go to higher levels, so we go on the fairy side, genie side, but speaking of these beings, like in fairy tales, they have realms, they have kings, queens, they have wise spirits, very, very, with a lot of knowledge. So they are different. But anyway, they respond like a mirror to the intention of the people. So the more we are producing harmony, and the more they bring harmony. This is one of the secrets.
So in other words, if we're feeling good, they're going to make us feel even better.
Exactly.
But that's the key, because we're trying to raise our own vibration,
Yes.
and they're simply helping us to raise it even higher.
Yes. Of course, like in fairy tales, the good fairy helped Cinderella, even if Cinderella was really sad. The point is, they don't like victimhood.
Oh, yes, that's
They
good.
don't like victimhood. If a person is sad, is suffering because something happened, but anyway, this person do his or her best to, in some way, to anyway trust life, trust, so they can work, they can help. But if a person just wants to complain and keeps complaining and maybe put some anger there, no ways, they are not happy, they can't, they really, they feel like anger is like burning for them.
Isn't that something? Yeah.
And victimhood make them feel heavy, they don't like, they are light. So they don't like people when people are always angry, not, yeah, sorry, angry, not hungry, angry and heavy. So people keeping, just kind of enjoying the heaviness. Enjoying is not the right word, I'm joking, but you know, there are people like attached to their
To their
problems.
misery. Yes. Yes, I know. And if the fairies don't like that, well, I got to be truthful. I don't like it either. I want to get as far away from them as I possibly can, because it's like, no, I don't want to share in that at all.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, come lift up.
Exactly.
So that's what they're trying to do, is lift you up.
Yes, they really, they love harmony. They love harmony, and so they are happy, and they work much better when we create harmony. Doesn't matter if we don't feel good. It's okay. You can say, I don't feel good. It's much better actually to say I don't feel good than I feel bad, because yeah, because when we negation for them, it's like for our brain, for a part of the unconscious part of our brain that doesn't recognize negation. Because if I say, don't think of a pink elephant in your living room, you see immediately the pink elephant.
Right. That's all you see.
We evoke what we want to deny. But it's also true that if I don't feel good and I keep saying I feel bad, I evoke that I feel bad. But if I say the same thing, but I use I don't feel good, then I evoke what I want to feel. I start anyway evoking what I would like to achieve.
Yeah.
And so this is something they can understand. I don't feel good, but, and the problem is when we start thinking, oh, I feel so bad, and this, that, and they bring us what we are saying constantly. So
Well, that's the law of attraction.
exactly, and it's really, and another very important secret is where we point our inner sight, our gaze, our inner gaze, because where we look at, then we create the picture. We are focusing our inner eyes there, and so they see that, they see it through our eyes, so they see that, and it become, in their opinion, our destination. So if we keep focusing on our worries, well, they think, oh, they want, this person want more worries. Okay, let's bring more worries to her, to him. So
that makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah.
Well, you mentioned cats or animals. How do they work with them, or are they like, are cats or dogs, are they like our fairies?
Oh, well, they can have a very strong fairy or genie sides, actually, especially cats, I have 3 cats here around, so I hope they don't jump to say hello. Maybe it happens. Well, maybe. But one of the cats, not my cats, it was a cat of a friend. I was cat sitting at home of this friend, and one night I woke up because the cat was following something in the house. I didn't switch on the light. I saw clearly a human, not a human, it was this size, but like a human
Oh my goodness.
body, like, and the cat, they were nose to nose like this. They were so friendly, and I was, wow, I was amazed. At a certain point, I told them, look, I want to keep sleeping, so go play in the other room, please, because they were just around me, and then they were very nice. They disappear in the other room. I was really happy to see how they can interact also, because
Wow.
it's very nice.
So they can, you know, and I've heard this before, cats and dogs
Yeah.
and animals can actually see the other dimensions, whereas we can't. We're stuck in this third degree or this third dimensional world here. That's what we can see unless we move forward. But
Yeah.
they can see beyond.
They see, definitely, and I see this when I paint. When I paint these strange things that I call portraits of the soul of the essence of someone, or when I paint some portrait of fairies, because I at a certain point I see them, and I have a lot of fur of cat on my paintings because they are always there. It's like they feel it, and it's funny because if I just paint something else, they are not interested at all. It seems they are really attracted to this energy in some way. It's so funny.
Interesting. Interesting. So I had my cat just walked up here and wanted to get on my lap. I think it's
Oh,
because of
wow,
you. Yeah.
so
So
nice.
so
Nice.
yeah, I mean, usually they don't interrupt me when I'm recording, but now it must be because of you.
Well, I'm always glad to meet another cat. I have a Skype cat usually. Now she's offended because I told her, please don't come, because when she start meowing, and she go like this between me and the other person, because she's a diva. She wants to show up. So now probably she understood, and she's very offended somewhere else. It's so
Isn't
funny.
I just love the animals, and I love to hear. Now they can see people who have passed on, right?
Yes, and they can feel also when a person is not feeling good. Sometimes it happens to me. This cat, the diva, she's also very sensitive. And when I treat some clients, I sometimes I receive some clients for rolfing and creating sacral session at home, and if it's just a session, like, okay, a person just want uh, to be more comfortable in his or her relations with gravity, it's
Yeah.
okay. But if this person has some health issue, and so it's not just a session, it's more healing work, Greta, this is the name of this cat, she's coming and she's staying there, observing everything. And if the client allows her, she's able to find the place and just lie down beside or somewhere, but usually she detects very well where the person has the issue. It's incredible. And I have a couple of clients, they want the cat. They want the cat. They know, we come for the treatment. I come for the treatment, but I come at home. I don't come in your studio because I want the cat. Okay, no problem.
Interesting, interesting. It's so funny. All of my cats are coming right into this room.
Yes,
It's so
they,
funny, and
they
they
know.
don't normally do this.
They
So
know. I am a natural cat rescuer. If you want, I show you one of my cats.
sure.
I show him because he's here, just here. And this is very genie cat.
Oh my goodness,
And
how
now he's
beautiful.
kissing me because he believes I'm the mom. He believes because we found him. My son actually heard him meowing. He was just born, and the mom abandoned him uh,
Oh,
just on the other side of the street. And so, seeing her not coming, I rescued him. And so, he believes to be a little bit human, but he has a very strong fairy and genie side. So, it's very funny.
interesting. So they can communicate with you, or you can communicate. I'm sure that they're picking up your energy,
I
but
think
can you understand messages to you from them?
from
Your
from the
cat.
cats or from the
Yeah.
genie? From the
No,
cat.
from the cats.
Well, I think we have a strong connection. I have a strong connection with cats because I'm always surrounded by cats. I had many dogs. I had birds. I had hamsters. I'm rescuing everything. Holes, uh, bats sometimes. So,
Oh my
but
gosh.
cats, yeah, 2 times it happened to me. But cats, yeah, they are like always present in my life. So
Isn't
I
that
think,
interesting?
yeah, we have a kind of special connection. But I think it's also related to this fairy genie side.
Okay, so now you can experience the fairies inside your house and not necessarily out in nature. You can even if you get a bunch of flowers and bring it home, you're still attracting. So how do you know that the fairies could be around you? Are you starting to feel lighter? Is your emotions, or what is it? I mean, how could I recognize that I'm feeling the fairies?
When you feel something like it's kind of ticklish in your heart sometimes, it's nice, it's a nice feeling. Or usually I start feeling like I'm touched and moved without a reason. Or, well, dancing for me doesn't work because I would dance all the time, but for some people for some people it's like time is stopping or is running, and it's like having a kind of feeling, uh yeah, celebrating without a reason. This is a sign, for
Oh,
sure. This is a sign. But the high level fairies, they are like good, the godmothers fairies, and they are very benevolent, and you can find them everywhere. And sometimes it's like they can work through people sometimes, like something like this. You can feel their
interesting.
presence when people are very, very open. But anyway, usually when you are committed in producing harmony, creating harmony, it's almost sure you are attracting them.
Interesting, interesting. And I have heard that children are able to see the fairies or the gnomes or whatever. They're
Well,
able to do that and communicate with them.
absolutely, yes. My son was able to do this until he was 2 years old.
Wow.
And he's still, now he's 16, he's still very sensitive to this dimension. But children are, because they have no prejudice, they are
Yeah.
open-minded. And
Yeah.
then we start with this kind of education, thinking that, okay, we should believe this and that and not this.
Yeah. Yeah, really. The education needs to be from within first. And
Yes.
then we can pick out what we resonate with and what we don't.
And of course, we have to be well grounded, because some people, they think that to be in touch with the spiritual dimension or fairy dimension, they have to neglect their body, or no, it's the opposite. We have to cultivate a balance, because the body is the instrument through which we can perceive another reality, but through the senses of the body we can develop more subtle senses. So we have to cultivate our roots, our grounding, to be able to fly. And it's, I know that it seems a nonsense, but it was the most important lesson I was taught. I learned this lesson when I channeled the presence of a dancer, that really he used my body and he transmitted to me his knowledge, and I gave him a mental stability that he didn't have when he was alive. But I understood finally, wow, the body is really the temple of the soul. It is the instrument to manifest our spirit. And so doesn't matter if you want to be in touch with the spiritual dimension, other beings, or human beings, doesn't matter which beings. It's all about cultivating the harmony in our body and with the world around us. So it's all connected. It seems that it's like the 4 elements of nature, or 5 if we follow the Chinese stream, but doesn't matter. It's like they are inside our body. It's a metaphor, of course, but they are functions in our body, into our body. So the more we are aware of these connections, and the more we can embody and integrate the energy of other dimensions of being.
I love it. I love it. Now, one of the ways that we could get closer to harmony is through your cards. Would you say that's yeah. So let's talk about your cards, because this is definitely a way that and I loved it. I've opened it.
Well, they were channeled. It was one of my first experience of channeling painting. Yeah.
I just pulled that up when you had it.
Perfect. So yeah. They are paintings, and they have this kind of energy, strong energy. So I made of them. They are oil on canvas. They are big, but I realized they are the archetypes behind the 22 major arcana of the tarot. So I realized then the tarot deck with a book, and I realized an infinite series of videos, because it's kind of video course, 6 hours of me speaking about the symbols, because this is a way to really recognize and embody. So awake this function inside and utilize this function in our life. This is the magic of archetypes. And so this is really, well, when I realized this, it was a way to help people to become aware of all these archetypes inside, so we can use them and reflect on them like they are mirror, because they are mirror. And
they're a mirror of our emotions or what we're experiencing. That's just a really neat picture.
Well,
I like that.
Hierophant, yes. This is the number
manifestation right there. Isn't
exactly, yeah. This is really recalling also the Leonardo da Vinci Vitruvian Man, because the number 5 is the archetype at the basis of our shape. This is the manifestation of the spirit. I have goosebumps. Well, they are speaking. Because I know there are it's not just archetypes, they are presence, they are entities. So the number 5 is really the manifestation of the spirit through the human body, through the human being, and the Hierophant, who is speaking of sacred things, is the bridge between the spiritual dimension and the earthly dimension. So this is really huge. Because,
Wow, wow.
yeah,
Very cool. Well, let me ask, how do you, when you get them,
yeah,
how do you spread them out? Does it matter? Do you shuffle them? Do you
yes, I shuffle them. Oh, well, you can just shuffle them as you like. You can just put them in front of you and just breathe in and out. Imagine, really just follow your inspiration. And your inspiration, you can follow it. Maybe you need to touch them, or maybe you just want to pick one because it hit your eyes, and so you can just pick a card. And this, in this case, this is the Hermit. Well, the Hermit is really the search. It's connected to the heart. The Hermit is connected to the sign, the lion, this Leo, the sign, the zodiacal sign of lion, Leo. And so is the heart, connection with the heart. So the first step for searching is always connecting with our heart, but actually is the heartbeat. In fact, in the video connected to the deck and the book, I explain step by step also what you have to do in order to connect with the power behind the arcana. And so many times we are not sure what does it mean, connect with your heart. It's really pay attention to your heartbeat, because sometimes we are just too busy. And when I ask to do this to people, I don't feel it. Okay, just jump a little, dance a little, then you feel it and follow it. And so we have to train a little bit to be in touch, because it's incredible. In so many meditation from tradition, spiritual tradition, the secret is between breathing and the heartbeat, and there is a word opening there when we become able to feel our heart and how emotion they play here in this area. So
I love that. So then if you shuffle them and you pick out a card, this book will tell you what it means. It has.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I put everything into the book and into the videos. Into the videos, there are also videos dedicated really to the meditation with them, but also the videos, the 2.5 minutes meditation, really focus on a key sentence for each arcana. But the longest series is about 10-15 minutes each video. So each arcana, 10-15 minutes with all the explanation and the exercise to embody the energy of the arcana. And then in the book there is there are suggestions for spreads. And actually I channeled a secret, that is, when you spread and use 4 cards, then when you put them together, you create a sum, but it's not what is common. It's like considering them like a spiral. So this is another secret inside the book. So it's it was the first big work I channeled, the paintings, but then the book, this book came to me just 2 years ago.
Wow.
So,
wow. So now they can purchase this, the cards, and it has the book in it, and then you give them access to the videos.
Yeah, actually on my website I did the opposite. So it's like people buy the video course. So they get immediately the links to the course, because the 6 hour, it's
extensive. So
at least they can start exploring and the mail can work.
Oh, and the mail gets to you. Okay.
Yeah, but sometimes mail, the package needs time to arrive, but in this way they can start immediately to go inside and to explore with the videos, and then they start to play with the cards. So
Okay, so let me repeat that then. What happens is they go to your website and they purchase the video series,
yeah,
and then they get this in the mail, and it's the cards and the book.
exactly,
And so they have better knowledge of what's going on and what
of
to
course,
expect.
yes, and of
I
course
love that.
it will take time because the mail, but at least they have immediately the videos, and of course I'm always, I'm like a gypsy fairy, so I would like I used to, in Italy is so small, so I used to go invited to give conferences and workshops, and oh wow, if someone want to invite me, I can just take a fly or
Oh,
and,
neat.
and go and meet people, because I'm so happy of course I can host people, but I can also travel, and
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's that sounds exciting. Now they can also purchase the book,
yes,
the
yes,
Fairy Code.
code, yes, and in the Faerie Code there is a secret key. So there is a secret key to access a secret part of my website, in which they can find actually the portraits of 12 spirits of nature. I show one of them. This one I show because it's spring. So this one, okay, this one is the original.
Oh, how
It's a
pretty.
fairy of fire. It's Ariel.
Oh, how beautiful. Bring it a little bit closer. I want to see more of it. Bring it up a
Yes,
little bit more.
yes.
Oh, how
So
beautiful.
this is one of the portraits. This is a portrait of a spirit of nature. So I portrait 12 of them. Everyone is connected with with a sign of the zodiac, and I put them secretly in a part of my website that is accessible only through the Fairy Code, only through the book, because there is a secret password there. So
Interesting.
I'm working to make kind of printable. People can also print them in, I think in a week will be ready in this secret
So
section.
that'd be cool to have them on your a screensaver as well. That'd be fun to put it onto
Oh,
your computer and
sure.
be able to see them. I could see the energy. I mean, it's just really neat.
I,
Now, yeah, now with the Fairy Code though, you have it's now an audio book, right?
yes, yes, exactly. This was a wonderful gift. I have a friend. I call her fairy friend. I have a couple of fairy friends, but she's special, and she's an artist. She's a life coach. She's a very deep person with very good antennas, and she's always also an artist. She makes music for her meditations. She wrote books also, and she was wonderful because she recorded this book for me, and she's a voiceover artist. She's
Oh
an
my goodness, how wonderful.
and then if someone prefer an audiobook than a book, all the information are there, because it's long. It's a kind of 4 hours.
Yes, but that's good because people can listen as they're commuting to
and
work.
and
Or,
her voice, her
yeah.
name is Mimi Novik, and her voice is incredible, because you are brought into the fairy dimension. So, and this audiobook in a while will be available on the retailers online, but at the moment is already available on my website. There is a little shop on my website. There is only two things: the Arcana of the Threshold and the audiobook of the Fairy Code, because I can't put the portraits. I'm I'm painting portraits for people, but I can't put them because they are on commission. And so
I see. Now, let me ask you about that. You paint for people. They
yes,
can commission you. Do
yeah,
you
yeah.
paint them their fairies?
I can paint a fairy like this one or a bigger one because I needed to have some information, a Skype connection. I needed to speak with a person. I asked for the birth data, something like this.
Interesting.
And then I channel the portrait of the fairy, or sometimes something different, something that can be a bigger, a kind of very big fairy or genie energy like this one. I have two portraits in progress. This one, I don't know if
Oh
you
my
see this.
goodness.
This is a
Oh,
very strong energy. This is a special person, and it is a very
wow.
special fairy beings. It's like I call this being as like a dream maker. I can't describe it. This is still in progress.
It
And,
looks magical. It looks very
and
magical.
another one that is this is just I just start this. The one is almost finished. This one is just start. Just,
Oh,
this is a
wow.
person. This is for a person. This is the essence of a person. And I just started. It's 3 days I'm doing it.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I paint it by using my fingers. So this is the reason why I can't, it's oil. I can't use the brushes. I need to feel the color. And in the channeling process is like the color is drying fast because I don't know which kind of energy it is. So it's drying fast, but not.
Wow, I've never heard of that. You paint with your fingers, not with the
Yeah, yeah.
brush, so that you can feel the energy. That's
Yes.
brilliant. Brilliant.
Yes, and it's incredible because it's like something coming from me, and it takes days. Of course, it can take 2 weeks to finish a painting. And
Wow.
well,
And your website has all that information for people
yes,
who want to
there is
commission it.
section. It's connected to the yeah, fairy portraits.
Ah,
And there is also need a fairy because I'm starting now to discover that sometimes really people need a fairy.
yeah.
So they can have a fairy, a paint fairy, or they can ask me some kind of sessions because I can explain about the Faerie Code and the rules to communicate with fairies. But I know some people needs really to connect with this energy. So I'm also telling, okay, if you need a fairy, come to visit me or invite me. We can work together. And from rolfing to dance to channeling, because what I experience, and this is more in the other book, Turn to Heal. I experience really our body needs to be involved in the process because we have so many memories.
Yes, yes.
So many, and so we have to bring our body into the process. So I love to give movement movement coaching sessions or bodywork session into the process because our body is a metaphor, and what we resolve working inside, but inside is not just in our mind. Inside is also how we perceive the environment through our body. And then we can start seeing things changing because we change our perceptions, and it creates, it's like a domino effect, it's
Yeah.
or butterfly effect. So
Wow.
it's really like bring a fairy in your life because this is the energy of the fairies, like in the fairy tales. They come to help you to make your life lighter.
You know, and that's what we need so much right now with everything that's going on. We
Yes.
need some lightness. And I can see where knowing and talking to a fairy or understanding that, boy, it could just lighten up your world. Absolutely.
And what I discovered is really we can deal deal with very deep issues, but we can make it lighter, because
Yes.
we can go deep and then we have to come up anyway. So it's amazing, because it's more than 33 years ago they come to me, the Arcana, and it's like I, through them, then through the visit of this dancer to my body, and step by step I I turned into someone much lighter than in the beginning. In the beginning, I was like this. In the beginning, I was so serious. and,
And
and then it's incredible, because it's like aging doesn't exist. And actually, I believe what native people, native women, when they speak about the menopause like another childhood, I believe this, because it's what I experienced totally. So I hope to be able to share all these secrets with a lot of people, women, but also men, of course. I'm not just
yeah,
but
no, I think this is wonderful. And you wrote this article for Law of Attraction magazine last month, and I was reading it and I was seeing all the pictures and everything, and I was going, I just love this. And I said, this is one of my all-time favorite articles, because when you read it, it's like
yeah.
you are lighting up. You're freeing yourself to be. I did tell you, didn't I, that I thought it was one of my favorite all-time articles. I just felt so joyful when I read it.
I'm very, very happy with it, because it means that the energy is working. Because
Yes.
this is what I love to do. I love to share it's all this. And I believe in sharing, because it's all about information. Information is so subtle, and it goes beyond the material,
Yes.
tangible body. And so it's really like this. We need just to trust life and our inner hidden potential, and all this beauty around us, especially now, because if we focus only on the worries, and there are a lot of things about, we could be very worried, and it's good to be aware. It's I'm not telling you we have to think that everything is okay. It's not okay. We know where are the issues, and let's do something to bring a balance.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
starting from ourselves, because the more we produce and we create harmony, and it works.
Absolutely. Well, we are all out of time, but I have thoroughly enjoyed this. And you can go to, I'm trying to find your website address.
Oh,
It's just www.monicacarducci, CANDUCCI.com.
yeah.
And we can get all of the information there. This is just so much fun.
Yeah, I hope maybe with my name and family name, people should find probably the website. There is how you call a dash,
Hyphen?
hyphen. Yeah, sorry, my English is still very Italian. But
Oh, it has, it's
yes,
Monica Carducci, but it's Monica hyphen
yes,
Carducci.com.
yes,
And I
exactly.
want to spell the last name again, CANDUCCI.com,
Thank
right?
you. Thank you so
It's
much.
wonderful. I love this stuff. I love it. Thank
Well,
you so much, Monica. This has been
thank you.
fun.
It's really a pleasure, and then probably we are mirroring each other, because for me also is like it's so it. Speaking with you, I feel my enthusiasm resonating. So you are.
Oh,
It's,
good.
yes, I hope this will bring a lot of energy, fairy energy.
Out to the world.
Yes, exactly. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week with another great show from Law of Attraction Talk Radio. If you'd like to comment on tonight's show, send an email to jules@loaradionetwork.com and have a great week.